I told my surrogate to stop acting like she was my husband's wife. My husband Tom and I hired Maya after 3 devastating miscarriages. She was highly recommended by a friend and had successfully carried for 2 other couples with 0 complications. Everything seemed perfect initially, until she started bringing elaborate homemade meals to our house every week. Pregnancy cravings, she'd laugh sweetly, but she'd always make enough portions for my husband too. Soon she was staying for dinner regularly, sharing stories about her childhood, asking detailed questions about Tom's engineering work and his hobbies. Then she began showing up to his CrossFit gym unexpectedly. My doctor said I need to stay active for the baby's health, she'd explain, conveniently working out right next to him every single time. Other gym members started assuming she was his pregnant wife based on their interactions. The really weird part was how she'd constantly talk about when the baby comes home. Not when you get your baby back, but like she was planning to stick around permanently as part of our family unit. She'd mentioned how amazing Tom would be at teaching the kid to ride bikes, throw footballs, help with homework. All these detailed future scenarios that somehow always included her presence. When I brought up my growing concerns, my husband would brush them off dismissively. She's carrying our child. We should be supportive and grateful, he'd say defensively. But I noticed how his eyes would light up whenever she texted, how he'd laugh at her jokes just a little too enthusiastically. Last month, she boldly asked if she could move into our guest room for the entire 3rd trimester. She claimed her apartment was too stressful, and she wanted to be closer to the family for optimal baby health. My husband actually seriously considered it, and we had our first real fight. I started making excuses for Maya's increasingly inappropriate behavior. She'd text Tom at midnight about false labor scares, and he'd rush over immediately to check on her well-being. During every doctor appointment, Maya would position herself next to Tom and only speak directly to him. She'd ask about his family medical history, his childhood experiences, what kind of father he envisioned himself becoming. I sat there feeling invisible like a piece of furniture while they bonded intimately over their developing baby. The breaking point came when she posted a professional maternity photo on Instagram with my husband's hand lovingly placed on her rounded belly. The caption read, "Daddy's so excited to meet his little miracle," with multiple heart emojis. People were commenting congratulations like they were an actual couple. Tom was tagged as the proud father, and I wasn't mentioned anywhere in the post. When I confronted her directly about the misleading social media post, she became immediately defensive. "I'm carrying his biological child," she said smugly. "We have a special spiritual connection through this baby that's growing inside me. You wouldn't possibly understand that bond." That's when I completely lost it. I told her she needed to stop acting like she was my husband's wife because that role was already permanently taken by me. But Maya just smiled coldly. "Actually," she said calmly, "Tom and I have been having deep conversations. We've realized we have genuine romantic feelings for each other. This baby brought us together in ways neither of us expected." My entire world stopped spinning. I looked desperately at my husband, waiting for him to deny it, to tell her she was completely delusional. Instead, he stared at the floor shamefully. "I'm so sorry," he whispered barely audibly. "I didn't plan any of this, but Maya and we connected deeply over the pregnancy journey. She understands me in ways I never expected possible. I couldn't breathe properly. The woman I'd paid handsomely to carry my child was systematically stealing my husband, and he was willingly letting her. This baby needs both biological parents together," Maya continued matter-of-factly. "Tom and I think it's much better if we raise the child together as a proper family unit. You'll still be involved somewhat, of course, but as the intended mother who couldn't carry her own child successfully." I realized with horror that this had been her calculated plan from the very beginning. 3 months later, our son was finally born. Tom held him first while Maya watched adoringly, like the proud mother. I stood awkwardly in the corner. They moved in together when the baby was exactly 2 weeks old. I get supervised visitation every other weekend now, like a divorced parent visiting someone else's precious child. Maya got exactly what she had wanted from day one: a devoted husband, a beautiful baby, and a perfect ready-made family. All previously mine.